Welcome to My Health Renewed podcast. Yes, I'm so excited about this episode. I apologize that it's been a little bit before I've released something to all my listeners. I dropped the ball, but let's get back on it and let's do this. That's kind of like our health journey. Sometimes, it happens. We fall, but what do? We get back up. Get back up again. Okay, so let's just keep going forward. I'm so excited about this podcast that's lined up for you. I'm thrilled to introduce you to Geoff. He's our guest from East Park, a leading expert in holistic health. And Geoff is here to shed some light on a topic that affects so many of us. That's right. What are we talking about, Christy? We're talking about Candida. I like Candida. Some of you guys are aware of it. Some of you guys not so much. And a little Candida naturally occurs in the body. So that's a good thing. But overgrowth and when your body becomes out of balance with Candida, that can lead to a host of health issues. And so we have Geoff here to help explain a little bit about that and most importantly, how to address this effectively. So whether you are dealing with something currently or you're just curious about maintaining good health, this episode is just packed with valuable information that you won't want to miss. That's right, you won't want to miss. Okay, so let's get started. But first, before we begin, let's give our disclaimer. Disclaimer. The information provided on My Health Renewed podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your health regimen or before starting any new treatment or therapy. The opinions expressed by the guests on this podcast are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the host or the podcast. Individual results may vary, and what works for one person may not work for everyone. If you have or suspect you may have a health condition, please consult the advice of your healthcare professional. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have heard on this podcast. Okay, I think I covered the bases there, right? So in other words, we're not responsible for your decisions, all right? Oh, and this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's do this. Welcome to My Health Renewed podcast, and today we have Geoff from East Park. We're so grateful to have you. I'm going to allow you to just speak a little bit about yourself to them, introduce yourself, what you do, and then we'll talk about the topic.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. My name is Geoff Melcher from East Park Research. I've got my degree in kinesiology with an emphasis in biomechanics, and my grandfather started East Park. And it was one of those when I first start out, and you have all of this schooling, you're like, is this real? Is this something that actually can make a difference? And so I viewed it as snake oil. I really did. And so I did research after research. It was like, okay, maybe there is something here. And then continued on and talking to customers and then got to hear how it literally changed people's lives. And that's how I really jumped in to this whole world of natural products, and fundamentally it's taken over my life. I started back in 2010, I believe, but the company's been around since 19.
Nice. So you've actually been raised in this. You've born into it. That's a blessing.
It was originally Grandpa's green stuff that anytime you had an ailment or a skin issue, it was what you just went ahead and took. And so it was in that, and because of that I didn't really think that it was something that actually helped people. So I was a skeptic to begin with.
Gotcha. Well, we all start to question our parents and grandparents as we get older, right? Well, do you
Absolutely.
really
Like,
know?
do you really know? Because there's this thing called internet now. So yeah, absolutely.
Except I like that you call it Grandpa's Green Stuff. Honestly, that could have literally been the title of the company. I'd have been like, I want some of Grandpa's Green Stuff.
Green stuff.
It's pretty awesome. Today, we're going to be talking about Candida. I'm really excited about this topic. A lot of people always question, do I have Candida? What is Candida? How does that affect my body? So I'm excited to just go ahead and jump into this topic.
And it's one of those things that everybody will ask a question. I always wonder, well, Candida is so prevalent. We know that 90% of Americans at some point will have Candida in their body. And that's something that just goes away. But why don't we hear about it? Well, where is it? And the real reason is because there's no form of testing for it. Now, hear that. We can't go and go, hey, prick my finger and tell me, do I have Candida? And so since there's no way to test for it, well, there's also no money in for it for the pharmaceuticals side of things. And that's where I feel like giving something that, one, we can establish what it is, how it gets there, then a solution to it that is an all-natural approach is where it just starts to become, frankly, amazing when you can start to see that change in life. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So did you yourself, did you struggle with Candida? Is that something that you found to be an issue for you and then went through, or did your family struggle with that?
It was really more of having people tell me their symptoms. And the very first that I really remember is nail fungus. Really, that first outward expression that, oh, I just can't seem to get it. And we'll put a little topical on it because we have a topical out of delinolate, and they'll put it on. And you really got to get to the root cause of it. And when I first mentioned, we did lots of research. So we've actually done research on Candida. We did a book about it where we looked at what was Candida doing, and we wanted to find a way to test for it. So what did we do? Built a questionnaire, because that was the only real way that we could quantify the level of Candida in your body without doing a blood work, right? We don't want to do a full blood panel all the time to really understand. So is there a way for you to establish a baseline if this is an issue? Because when it gets to your nails, you've already come too far.
Oh, that's interesting.
Thanksgiving has taken its toll. All of the sweet stuff and sugars, you have given it exactly what it needs to take that foothold. And so when it gets to your nails, foothold, there it goes. It's right there. So yeah, that's that very first really indication that there may be an issue going on.
Okay. Okay. I find that interesting. When we were younger, and I'm not going to say, I won't throw their name on blast, although I kind of want to, but I won't because I love them. Anyways, but our big family went on a vacation and we all were getting on these inner tubes, and one of them took their shoes off. And I mean, all of their toes were covered in fungus. The truth is, they go to the doctor and get it treated. They get them an antibiotic, and then that doesn't work. And then people will tell them, oh, well, just put tea tree oil on it and it'll go away, or do this and it will go away. And one of them, because there's actually a couple of them, I guess.
Toes sticking up on the tube. We can all imagine, right? Just having your feet up, sitting in the back. So yes, yeah.
But
you're like,
they think that it's just a local issue, a issue localized on the foot. But you're saying that it's a systemic issue, that then we need to actually look at the whole system and say, are we dealing with Candida overgrowth?
well, and people, a lot of times, it's the nature of our society. We want something to work now. We want to fix the issue we can see now. And your point is spot on. The root cause is it is growing and multiplying inside. And the byproduct of that, you start to compromise the immune system. You start to get sick. You see it in your skin. You see it in your nails. And the real source of all of that is your immune system fundamentally isn't strong enough to attack those foreign matters, which then gut biome starts to go away, and it's this cascading. So yeah, I love the idea of trying to figure out what that real root cause is, and you'd be shocked how many times your immune system is at the core of what the real problem is.
I like that. Yeah, I want to dive into this. However, first of all, I'm going to go backwards a little bit and let you tell a little bit more about your story.
Awesome.
You have a story you'd like to share with us?
So East Park Research, I got into the company, again, being a very skeptic, but my grandfather started the company, but how, why, and necessity is the mother of all inventions. My uncle contracted AIDS in the 80s. AIDS in the 80s was a death sentence, but you didn't die from AIDS. You actually died from a complication. Specifically, it was pneumonia. Well, why would you get pneumonia? Because your immune system was so compromised. So my grandfather, who was in the insurance business, sold everything and wanted to find a solution for his son, my uncle. He purchased research from Upjohn University. He was also a Christian man and believed heavily in the Bible and received what he feels his guidance from Revelations 22:2, where the leaves of the olive tree will heal the nations. So that combination with research from Upjohn and what we found with the olive leaf specifically is we can get the components of the olive leaf to work in your body for 2 to 20 minutes. Standard process. He spent 7 years trying to find a way to get those same therapeutic components to work over a longer period of time. And that's where he came up with D-linolate, our olive leaf extract, which he was able to get a patented extraction process on.
Wow.
And that is where we have built the foundation. And he built this to save my uncle. He wasn't successful in that journey, but in that it was all driven out of wanting to know more and more of what really can the olive leaf, the leaf, not the fruit, do for the body. And that's where we started doing research on Candida, West Nile virus, anthrax, E. coli, clinical double-blind studies on humans, HSV. We started going all the way through because, frankly, he was worried it was so powerful that the FDA was going to shut him down.
Oh,
That was so
Yeah.
all of this research,
that.
when we start diving into this research, it is because he wanted to be able to stand back and go, I'm not making claims. This is what it can do. We're just trying to help, and believed we can change the world by helping one person at a time. And that is the heart of the company.
Wow.
And then I got to get involved again as a skeptic. Snake oil, Grandpa's green stuff.
Grandpa's green stuff.
And then you
Grandpa's
start to realize it does change your life. You talk on the phone and you hear how somebody with a Candida overgrowth that is embarrassed to wear, let's say, open-toed shoes, something as simple, but they're embarrassed. And then they get the test results and we see an 80% overgrowth. And you go, oh my gosh, this is just sucking all of the life and joy because you're sluggish. You don't want to move. You feel bad. There's the guilt. It's the cascade of all of these pieces. And we go and we start to see those urges wipe away. And people are like, oh my gosh. And all we're doing is making your immune system stronger. So that's the really exciting.
Wow. No, that's a powerful story. Do you notice that it extended his life a little bit, at least, even the olive leaf?
In that process, he was still doing that research to try to understand what it could do. Because again, whenever you have the olive leaf, we know it works for a very short period of time, but it's not very feasible for somebody to constantly be taking olive leaf every 20 minutes, for example. So that's one of those areas where it wasn't successful in the beginning, but out of that drove a solution that we now call D-linolate.
I'm so sorry to hear that, what you guys had to go through and all that your uncle's been through. I'm glad to see that you guys kept pursuing it and then testing it and seeing where does it help? How does it make a difference in other people's lives? And the determination to say, okay, maybe we weren't able to save our uncle, and I'm so sorry to hear that, but maybe we can save another life some way, somehow. So that is powerful. Thank you. I love it. And I love the Revelation 22, right? Was it 22?
22-2, yeah.
22-2. 222.
222.
So now for some people who are listening, they're probably unfamiliar with even what is Candida. How do I know if I have Candida? What does that look like? And how did I get it?
Yeah.
I just put a bunch of questions.
No, it's a yeast overgrowth, right? And we actually know that the beginning of the yeast problem actually stems from birth. That's how children can get it, is at the birthing process. But then that lives and stays in your body over your lifetime. So it's in there for most people. And that's why 90% of Americans will have Candida problems at some point.
Okay.
Then we start throwing in our diet.
Oh, yep. Let's talk about that.
A little bit of diet starts coming in. You start giving it exactly what it wants, which is that sugar, that yeast, that sourdough. Gotta love it. You know, all those different pieces. Not sourdough. We can leave that. We can still have the sourdough, you know, with a little bit of butter, small oil. No, but it's one of those pieces where it kind of starts and then it creeps up on you.
Okay.
It's not something that one day you're like, oh, I have Candida. It's just one day you feel this blah. And like, what is going on? And oh, I just feel like I'm getting sick consistently. I feel like my skin isn't as nice as it should be. Nails. And these are all these outward things because Again, your skin is that outward expression of what's going on internally with your immune system. And when we get that going, then we get to see it start fighting back all the
Right.
way through. Yeah.
Right. And of course, I know I call you out on this, but you have such great skin. I'm feeling you have a really good immune system.
I do love my Delinolate. Delinolate every day is one of those. And people ask, well, how much do I need to take?
Mhm.
What does that look? How long? Right?
Mhm.
Because I know that's where you're going. So I'm going to go right
All right,
there.
let's go for it.
We'll take an 80% overgrowth. Now, 80% overgrowth is going to be you've got it on your nails, you feel sluggish, you don't want to do anything. We've got a great little brochure that you can download, that you can see, and we walk through all of the different issues. And it's a long list. You start to look at that and you go, okay, I need to do something. That's where Delinolate comes in. So we've got an 80% overgrowth, and we know this by doing blood work. We start taking 2 capsules 3 times a day. That will run about 6 months.
Okay.
And at the end of 6 months, you'll come back at 0% overgrowth. Now, people go, oh, well, I can do that too, Christy.
Mhm.
I know if I do change my diet, I start exercising, I stop giving this, I do all of these things. That is true. But humans, we are inherently lazy. Nobody likes to work out.
Yeah.
It's just it's part of nature. We don't want to do anything. So that's okay. Even walking is a form of leaning forward, your body falling, and then your body catching itself. That's all walking is. So that's how lazy we are.
Yeah.
That's why people don't run, because it requires work, right?
Yeah.
So we're inherently lazy. And all of these things to go ahead and stop Candida, well, it's a long list. And patients actually following through with that, it just doesn't happen. So I wanted to see, well, what if we didn't put all of these contingencies on the effectiveness?
Okay.
So we recommended 0 change in lifestyle.
Uh-oh. I don't necessarily choose that.
No
I want to
change.
see what happens.
Oh,
if
that
you
was
change
the
in lifestyle.
purpose
That's
of it.
that's
What
perfect.
the 0 change in lifestyle? How successful can we?
Yeah, gotcha. I like
6 months.
6 months.
6 months.
Oh, that's amazing.
Now, imagine if you changed one thing,
Wow.
just one,
There
right?
you go.
Food, I am always going to go to food. Food is one of that first step that anybody can just make a great, simple change.
100% true. Start simple, guys.
Start simple. Start simple. You want a
Simple
little
is
help?
sexy.
Yeah. Want a little more help? That's where Delinolate can come in. Boost your immune system.
I was diagnosed with systemic lupus 5 years ago. And so one of the first things I did when it came to a lifestyle change, actually, there was a couple things, but eventually what I started to incorporate was an anti-Candida diet because I read this book where it was, assume it's fungus until it's not. And when we say Candida, just real quick, a lot of people say when I'm exposed to mold on the outside, is this basically saying you have mold on the inside of your body?
It really
Kind
is,
of like
right?
that?
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's got this piece of overgrowth that's living in there, and we know mold in the outdoors can trigger these things. So that's where when we're looking at these different pieces, oh, and this happens, I have this cascade. Ooh, what is the real cost of that? And that's part of understanding where it comes from.
Now, what about the test when people throw out their tongue and it's white? I'm just curious, how accurate is that? People are like, let me see your tongue. Oh, I can't do it unless they ate like a purple popsicle or
Right.
something and then they got a purple tongue. And oh, I think you're good. Looks like you got a lot of circulation.
And great popsicle? No. Oh, I'll maybe get that checked out.
And so, what do you say about that when people are trying to test it? Is there certain things, like you said, toe fungus, but how about the white tongue? Do you find that to be
there's lots of
accurately true?
indications, and where we really find is we start doing more of a history. Did you take an antibiotic recently? We're going in and we're killing all of the bacteria, right? So we've got this good bacteria that we just wiped out. That is one of the biggest indicators because what you did is you created a space for this to start taking hold. So actually antibiotics in the last 6 months is one of those first indicators. And we have a point scale with our questionnaire. And again, you can easily click the link and download this questionnaire just to see where you're at. And it is different for men and women. We have a whole section. We need to ask these questions for women only, just to kind of see what's going on to get a baseline. And we also know that the scores are going to be different. And so we actually have a men range and a women's range all the way through to figure out what do we really need. But one of those questions is the antibiotics, and there's a host of others. I don't believe there's stick out your tongue
Okay.
and
I was
see
just
if it's
curious.
quite. I don't think it was there. It's more of that history to try to understand where you're at, less of the presence, just because any acute issues that come up, it's hard to determine what it is, and the history is a much better indication of what that cause might be.
Nice. Now, I want to go into your product line a little bit more. So now that we have an understanding of what Candida is, how does olive leaf affect it? Does it help feed your probiotics? Is it like a prebiotic? Does it help rebuild your microbiome? What exactly is happening with olive leaf that after 6 months, you've noticed a huge difference with a lot of your clients?
Great question. The interesting part when we're looking at any new product, we want to know, what does it do in the real life? But before we can even get to the real life, we got to understand, what is it actually doing? One of our studies that we did was a clinical double-blind study on humans. We actually drew blood because we wanted to see what was happening in the human body with our olive leaf extract. So we drew blood and we were looking at white blood cells because we know that there's an immuno component to the olive leaf extract. So we drew white blood cells, and inside the white blood cells, something called an ROI, reactive oxygen intermediate. That ROI is the potency of your white blood cell. And what we found is delinolate will significantly increase the potency of your white blood cell. How does this work? What are the different pieces? The reality of it is, there is no other product that I'm aware of that starts to boost your immune system on a cellular level. So, and your immune system's smart. When we talk about the gut, and we've got all these different bacteria, we got these good bacteria on one side, and then we've got the bad bacteria on the other side. How does your body know to attack the bad versus the good? And that's the divine formulation of the human body, that your white blood cell is smart enough to know, I need to kill that, but that's going to make me better. And so that's where I love when we're giving your body what it needs to then fight the issues it has. That's really the power of delinolate and the power of all of our products, because every product we carry has scientific research, because we want to know, what is it really doing? So with delinolate, you will see a host of benefits. And some people will go, oh, well, we've got cold and flu and I'll take it, and in 2 hours, I feel better already. Yeah. Oh, it's amazing stuff. It killed. Well, yeah, we've tested it on influenza and H1N1 specifically, and we knock it out all the way through. Again, E. coli. But what's interesting to know is, it's really your human body that's doing that. It's your white blood cell. It's vaccinations. What are vaccinations doing? Well, they're just giving a weakened virus so your immune system can build antibodies through the T cells, which is one of the areas we affect. You get strong T cells, and that's how you fight it off. Well, you could just make your immune system strong enough so that you could take off anything that comes out there in the world. That's that more naturalistic approach of going after and building that immune system. So your question, what are we really doing? We're doing one thing only. Make your white blood cells the strongest they can be so you can take on the world. And out of that, we start taking on Candida. We start taking on whatever systemic issues you may have. I like to go even into chickenpox. So
Yeah.
chickenpox and what comes after chickenpox.
Wait, are you talking about adult shingles?
Adult
Okay.
shingle. I was a kid once, they were like, oh, can I do this? So, yeah, shingles, right? Is it every kid? Yeah, no. So everybody's got shingles
Yeah.
in your body. When does it come out? When your immune system.
That happened to me right before I was diagnosed with systemic lupus. I broke out in shingles.
That's one of those other indications. So when you're going Candida, we know we've got an immune system issue in its core. So all we're doing is building your immune system so that you can take on the world.
And so have you noticed a difference with people who have been through the storm of chemo and radiation, and they've really just depleted their immune system completely? Have you actually done any studies to see how they can rebuild it right afterwards too?
We've even gone a step further and seen anecdotally, how effective we are during chemo radiation therapy. And it was bad. It was not a good result. Actually, the delinolate attacked the radiation boosted the immune system to a level where it looked like the patient actually hadn't gone through any chemo or radiation
Wow.
after 6 weeks. It was not a good conversation with the doctor. He was very upset because we literally put the patient through all of this pain for no reason. So we now know if you are taking a medication or you are doing something that is designed to suppress your immune system, Pilinolate is not going to be for you.
Oh, gotcha.
But if you want to boost your immune
You
system,
want to boost it.
you want it to get and get ready, then that's where Delinolate's going to come in.
Yes.
And so, yeah, we did some research. And the book that you can download, we actually did a whole blurb on that research where you could see what we did, the no change in diet. We had 60 patients all the way through just taking that Delinolate, where we were able to see that improvement all the way through.
Yeah. And of course, I'm not saying don't change your lifestyle. Let's start to make healthier choices. But
Don't take Jeff's recommendation. We're going to start with food, and then if you still can't figure it out, maybe we'll try something else, which is not a bad approach. And I also always recommend, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
don't fix it.
Fix it. If you have something that's working great for you,
Who's not broke though?
we all are, right?
Just like, yeah, they're all like, something's going on. So let me ask you, you talked about Delinolate, and that is what's in olive leaf extract. But is that in all the olive leaf extracts, or is yours separate because you have a certain amount that you put in there? How does yours separate from all the other ones we'll see in the store? I'm not necessarily
Wonderful.
calling them out, but I just want to show why I like you guys so much.
You should always call somebody out. You should always
Okay,
ask
let's just start throwing out names.
how. Yeah, no.
How?
So it's the right question. What is the olive leaf? What makes yours different? The reality is, I tell people olive leaf is like wine.
Oh, they're going to like
Grapes-
that.
The grapes of wine. So climate, temperature, soil conditions, all of these things have a factor on the leaf. And there's components in the leaf. We know there is at least 18 different components that have an effect on your human body. In those, we know all European will be that magic word, and get in your Texas accent, all European, right? All European is that little
How you wrote?
all
gotta do with the
European,
accent.
exactly. That's where we know one of the biggest indicators for your immune system. Hydroxytyrosol is another one of those components. This has more to do with cytokine storm. It's one of the reasons why we're so effective against COVID, because we quieted the cytokine storm.
And those who got the jab, have you noticed a difference with them taking it?
Yes,
Okay.
it seems to take a lot longer. The effects of Delinolate seem to take a lot longer to see the benefits, like
Okay.
long haul COVID, some of those other pieces. It seems more like a full rebuild
Okay.
take place. And I've seen anywhere from more to like 6 to 9 months where people are on a heavier dose of Delinolate. And when I mean heavier, I'm saying more than 3 capsules a day to get back to where they report, I feel like myself again. And that's an important note. Feeling like yourself,
Oh, that's what we all want. We
right?
start getting older.
How
I
does
can
it
just go back
feel
to the young
like
me who was
the
running
young me?
around, climbing mountains.
Feeling like myself, absolutely.
No mountains in Texas. I mean, right, not in this area.
But that's one of those little areas where all of that was anecdotal. I don't have any specific research, but it's an important factor when somebody goes, "Oh, I feel like me again." And that's where that
Love
9
that.
months sort of comes in, or how it's working. So what makes us different? Can't get too sidetracked. What makes us really different? We look for those additional 18 ingredients, all European, and we have minimum standards. Our minimum is 18% all European. You can go as high as 40%, but what's really interesting when you start to go through and figure out that all European at 40%, the color starts to go away. And the other additional components aren't there. So we don't want to filter to a point where we lose some of the good stuff. And I say, you've ever cooked broccoli and you steam it in a pot? All the water's green. Those are some of those nutrients that draw out. That happens when we cook and change something from its original form. So we know you don't want to go too high. You don't want to go too low. We do know that minimum is 18%. There's more though, right? It's not just that. There's also a part of hiding from the digestion process. And since we're on video, you could take your hands and they're together. They look the same. You turn them over, you look at them like, oh, I got wrinkles on that side, got wrinkles on this side. They look the same. This is olive leaf extract, right? They look the same.
Okay.
But if you take them and put them on top of each other, they're also completely different.
Oh, right.
This is called a stereoisomer.
If they're not different, I'd be a little worried.
They're
Unless they're going
like, but they're still upside down. Stereoisomer. This allows us to hide from the digestion process, which allows that immune properties to be absorbed over a longer period of time. So what is the difference? The difference is the absorption time that we have. We have 7 to 8 hours versus 2 to 20 minutes. So you would have to take like 16 times the equivalent to give one of our delinolate. And we see that in the dosing, in the research, in the studies that we get.
Incredible. Now, real quick, while we're still on this product, can you overdo this product? Is anybody who shouldn't be taking the product? It kind of give us an idea of contraindications that we should be concerned about or anything like that.
Let's hit the contraindications. I will always recommend talk to your healthcare professional just to make sure. And they go, well, what am I going to tell them? I want to take something that's going to boost my immune system. Is that a problem? And you could say olive leaf extract. I want to boost my immune system. Is that going to be a problem? If they say no, you're good to go. Again, there are steroids and other things that people will take that are designed to suppress your immune system. One of the great properties
especially with autoimmune. They put us on a lot of steroids, and I cannot do this. Yeah.
And one great piece of olive leaf, it's an immunomodulator.
Love that. Hear that?
So we know that if we have an overactive immune system, we can quiet it. Underactive, we boost it up. So there's all these wonderful little properties that are in the tree of life that are out there that we go ahead and tap into.
It's a revelation.
So as far as contraindications, that's the piece. I forgot the other question.
Can you overdose?
Overdose. You can feel like you overdosed, and it's called a Herxheimer's reaction, die-off effect. This will happen with any product that is going in and flooding your body with toxins. And what it's doing for us specifically, we're boosting the immune system to a level that it is like, whoa, I get to attack this, and I'm going to go after this. And I've been wanting to deal with that problem over there for 20 years, and it starts to do all that all at once, and it makes you feel like you've got a cold or a flu. That's the die-off effect. The good news is we know we sit in your body for 7 to 8 hours. So in 7 to 8 hours, guess what? You'll start feeling great over again. But for those 7 to 8 hours, it really came through. So I do say that you can overdo it in the beginning. You can. But at the same time, it's actually not hurting you. Now, the other piece, should I be taking it all the time? Some people truly believe in pulsing and taking a little bit and then stopping. And we do have some products where we see that to be a little bit more beneficial. With the delinolate specifically, keeping your immune system strong, there's enough out there in the world that's pushing your immune system down. I only see benefits of staying on at least one capsule a day. When your immune system is going strong, one a day, you should go years without a cold, a flu, anything along those lines.
I like that.
Years.
Let's make it happen, guys. Let's live to 200.
Here we go.
And so, yeah, if it deals with a lot of inflammation, I take it then. Have you noticed a difference with joint pain and it doesn't overtax your organs?
Right.
Just kind of want to.
You're walking through all those different pieces. Yeah.
Question. And they're like, well, will it help me? Because you may say everything and they'll just bring it, well, will it help me? I have this pain.
Yeah. Well, and I'll even take our topical, for example, with joint pain. There's nothing in the product that should help with that neuropathy pain. But to your point, you get your immune system going stronger, and then this pain starts to go away because inflammation is a part of that immune response.
Yes, it is. Just wanted to make that point.
Right. So we've got that, and it goes away, and people are like, oh, wow, this is a great pain reliever. My arthritis, I've got more movement. I'm going, I'm out. No. We're not doing, all we're doing is getting that immune system strong. So when you're wondering, will this work for me? I have X issue. We're going to say this issue over here, X issue. Well, if we got your immune system going stronger, would it help? That's the question you have to ask. And if you ask that question and it's yes, then guess what? You probably need to take those appropriate steps. Now, one thing that we haven't even talked about, we're talking about Candida, talking about 6 months of taking a product. What does that look like? one thing that started with Grandpa's green stuff, we only wanted to make products that worked, and we wanted to guarantee it. And we wanted to guarantee it not just one bottle, the entire protocol. And we didn't want to put a time frame on it. We wanted to say forever. So if you take something of ours and you want to have it do something specific, hair regrowth. Let's go with hair.
Oh, we like that. Ladies like
Hair
what?
regrowth.
Let's talk about hair regrowth.
Hair regrowth. I don't know if it will cause hair regrowth, but let's say you take it for that and you come back in 6 months and go, my hair didn't grow at all. We will do a full refund on that because we do stand by our product. And I also love the information. It's how we learn what we can and can't do. I'll tell you, I don't know if that will necessarily help you grow your hair, but let's go ahead and give it a try. I'd love to know how it works.
It didn't bring my ex back.
Yeah, no ex.
Wait, no.
I wasn't expecting that. We were just internally. And also remember too, this is important. Just because you see an issue, it may be an external thing that you're going after. And you said it in the beginning. What's that root cause? That's really where we want to get to. Everything that you can buy, for the most part, OTC, over-the-counter drugs and things, they're always going after the immediate symptom instead of the root cause. So we want to get you to be the happy, healthiest person you can be. And that's where we strive.
That is why I bring you on here. That is why I want to share this information. Now, I know I've kept you for a little bit, but I just want to bring up one more thing. If you don't mind talking a little bit about this one, the
Indium.
Just a little bit.
This is going to be a precursor to a future podcast that we'll do a whole.
Oh, I like that.
On indium. Yeah, indium. First off,
it's not just a one question.
It is not. Indium is one of my favorite products.
Really? Okay.
And the story behind it is quite interesting. We were doing that research. We found actually indium sulfate, indium in people's blood, but up until the age of 25. And it was in no one past the age of 30. Well, what is it? How is it? And what we found in our short little research is it helps with trace mineral absorption. That's all it does. So it helps your body absorb minerals, trace minerals. Now your thyroid, pituitary, hypothalamus start to work. Your thyroid, also considered master hormone gland producer of hormones. So we start to see this regulation, and that's where we'll see hair color start to come back, mental clarity, eye pressure, the byproduct of giving your body what it needs on a hormone level is quite shocking all the way through. So indium and delinolate are my two little go-to that I have.
And you can take them together?
You can.
Okay.
You absolutely
and
can.
Is there any products that you don't want to take with any of those?
We really have next to no contraindications, but we do have a few. On the delinolate, it's going to be anything that you want to suppress your immune system. With the indium, it's actually creatine that we say, and it's larger doses of creatine. The specific reason behind it is because we know we are going to increase lean muscle mass just by getting your body's elements in your body working. We see an increase in lean muscle mass, which is also one of the things creatine does. And it's frankly a lot of work to do a study, and it's not worth it. Honesty, where we live.
Thank you so much for sharing all the information. It's so great. And I'm going to take you on your word on that.
Absolutely.
I'm going to bring you back.
You should.
The whole podcast so you guys can understand it, because not many people are talking about indium.
No. And you go online and you look, and it is a mineral, but you also wouldn't go out and get iron from a rebar on the street, right? So you need to make sure it is produced at an FDA homeopathic facility.
Okay.
Located here in Texas, believe it or not.
I'm so proud of Texas.
Yeah, one of the great places. So it's one of those products that in 7 days, you'll notice a change. But to be continued.
To be continued. Oh, man. Thank you so much for coming here, taking your time out to speak to the audience and learn about your amazing products. Guys, I'm going to have some links down below, the worksheet that he was talking about, and the
book.
The book.
You'll be able to download the book.
You can download that.
That questionnaire. It'll be one of those areas where you go and save it. Please hear me. Save it, because you want to take the product and then you want to do a baseline every month. how are we doing? We can see and measure the results unlike anything out there.
Love it. And you can also go to myhealthrenewed.com. I'll also have links there too and available where you can purchase some of this. And also, is there any way they can hear more of you and all the information that you have to share? Do you have a podcast? Do you have any? Not real? Yes.
I mean, yes
just
and
gonna
no.
bring you back here.
I think the idea,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. It's going to be one of those things where I'm a regular guest. I do a lot of webinars and trainings and things like that.
That's awesome.
More to help the doctors because they have a larger reach, practitioners, naturopath, and I use the term practitioner quite loosely because I do truly believe in the grandma up the street that has been doing something for the past 50 years. And it works because guess what? It's real. So healers of all kinds.
Perfect. So basically, you have to go back to school, be a doctor, and then you can find him. No, I'd love
Or
to
just hit up with you.
on my podcast and contact me, guys. And we got some great product. And I love all the information that you gave. Is there any last words you'd like to leave off with the listeners?
Yeah. So the biggest thing that everybody needs to hear and why I love partnering with people, the journey is up to you. You have to decide and make that change. Do you want to be the healthiest, happiest being of yourself? And we know it starts with you in making some of those personal decisions to move forward. And I love finding great people, great products to help make you the best that you can be. And East Park Research is one of those companies that tries to help and support you in that journey.
I like that. East Park. So thank you so much once again. And Revelation 22:2. We can look it up. Do you actually know what it means?
Yes. And there's always, you've got more in there, like a deep dive of what the root means. But the term is the fruit will feed the nations and the leaves will heal the nations. That's
I
the
like
kind of
that.
the last part. And that it was the leaf healing the nations is where it was really tagged in. And I'm going to extend just a little bit. I got one little thing. When you start to do a little bit more research on olive leaf, it goes back all the way to ancient Egypt. They used to have people bring olive branches to you, and it's where the olive branch is now a sign of friendship and peace because people would bring you an olive branch and you would put the leaves in your mouth, you chew on them and spit them out, and they'd have to keep bringing you olive branches. It even goes further and further back, right? So there is something powerful, not only biblically, but also looking back in history and time. They've known something's been going on. And we tried to do our best to take it and make it in a way that God designed so that you could consume it.
Thank you, Jesus. I'm so glad. Keep doing what you're doing. And thank you for being part of it.
Thank you. Pleasure, everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for tuning in to My Health Renewed podcast. Was that not an amazing episode? Wow. Geoff had so much insight on Candida, and I felt it was very enlightening and helpful for my own life. I take the product, the olive leaf extract. And if you're interested in taking the product yourself, you can go to myhealthrenewed.com and then go to the store there. And on the store section, you'll be able to find the olive leaf extract. Again, always consult with your doctor before you make any changes. Okay. Got to put out a disclaimer. But guys, thank you for listening to My Health Renewed podcast. Stay tuned for next upcoming episodes. We learned so much together. And so let's stick together. Yeah. We'll go healthy together. Anyways, until next time, take care, stay healthy, and stay tuned to My Health Renewed podcast. Have a great day. Welcome to the bonus section. And you're wondering, what is the bonus section? Guess what? You're invited to my birthday party. That's right. Yep, we're having a little birthday party here because I released this podcast on my birthday. So you know what? We are going to party.
It's your birthday, it's your birthday, it's your birthday. Who birthday is it? It's your birthday, it's your birthday, it's your birthday. Who birthday is it? It's your birthday, it's your birthday, it's your birthday.